Hello and welcome to another episode of Out Loud. I'm your host, Anthony Parker. Now, we're having so much fun doing this show, and we hope that you're enjoying tuning in as well. And we're so happy to be here at BronxNet. We're also now on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And if you miss an episode on either, we're also on YouTube, so there's really no excuse for you to miss an episode.
That's cool.
Now, we're also super excited because we just launched our website, OutLoudTalk.com, where you can stay up to date with all things Out Loud in one place. There are links to full episodes, clips, and there's even a calendar on the homepage that tells you when and where Out Loud is airing next.
Cool.
Now, previously on the show, we've briefly discussed how there is a lack of gay bars here in the Bronx. And by lack of gay bars, I mean none at all. However, that is soon going to change because our first guest that is joining us today is opening up a gay bar right here in the Bronx. Please join me in welcoming Audrey DeJesus. Hello, Audrey.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I am so happy to hear that you are opening up a gay bar here in the Bronx. You're filling a huge, huge, huge void. So I'm personally excited, and I'm sure there are many people out there that are excited. So thank you for being here to talk about it today.
Well, thank you for welcoming me and the LGBT community and Out Loud. This is a great program.
Thank you.
I've been catching up on some of the segments, and it's great.
Thank you.
The audience that you have and the people that are sitting here.
Thank you.
I'm honored and humbled.
We're having a blast doing it. So tell us a little bit about this bar and what we can expect.
Well, I've been in the industry for the past 30 years, owning several bars in Manhattan. And 15 years ago, I decided to open up a bar called Nina's Lounge on Brooklyn Boulevard. And it was successful, but the community was very prejudiced about it being an LGBTQ because in the windows, I had the colors in the rainbow colors.
Mm-hmm. In the window.
And the window display. So a lot of the neighborhood took offense to it when it started becoming popular. Weekends was getting overflow with the patrons, and then they started complaining that they were in the streets, the music was too loud, which wasn't true. They just didn't want no LGBTQ in that community. I mean, it's changed, times have changed. I tried another location 2 years later, and we had issues, again, with the community and the community board. So it's like, it keeps on following, but I don't give up.
Yeah.
And then the third time, I actually went to a warehouse, 10,000 square feet, open space and everything. And because it was so secluded on Commerce Avenue, that it was going to cost more money to do the paperwork and everything, to actually open it up as a LGBTQ then. So I let that one go. And then they sold the building. Now I actually got the landlord that's on board with what I want to do with the ideas of it being a drag show, burlesque, exotic dancing. I want to cater to all kinds of people in the community. Yes. And because I've had the experience of 30 years of trying to do different venues in different areas of the city, worldwide, I says it's my time now. Timing, it's all about timing. So the community board, when I went to do the presentation to ask for the letter of support, a side note to that, they told me, well, you know, you have a lot of senior citizens that are on the community board. They might saturate you with a lot of questions about what you want to do with the community and the bar itself. So I'm like, I was prepared. I went up there with my game face on, with my paperwork, and I was so nervous about doing the presentation that I actually threw the papers in the air when I got up to talk to the community board, to the presentation. So at the end, when the district manager said, all right, we're going to put this to a vote, everybody voted. He stood there stunned. He was like, I thought they were actually going to ask you questions about certain things. The only thing they were asking about is the safety concerns about exits. And I am very anal when it comes to certain things in a bar because I've had the experience of it. So I quashed all their concerns about what was going on with the bar and everything. Right timing, right location. Port Morris is up and coming. So I pitched my idea. They're on board with it. So now we're at a stage where we're going to break ground. We're going to do a contest within the community. I'm hiring only in the Bronx, industry people that live in the Bronx. I want to hire only in the Bronx. Also, the club has no name yet, which I'm going to let the community pick a name.
Yes. Tell us about that, how you're having the
Well, I sat down, I was brainstorming, and there are so many wonderful names, but because it's going to be a diverse population, I'm going to have a box, and I'm going to have people come in on the soft opening and pick out a name. We're going to do a contest from the community.
That's great. Will a name be picked that night? Is that what the goal?
Yes. The goal is the day. Also, we're going to have a competition with DJs, but I only want Bronx DJs. They're going to compete to be the resident house DJ.
Nice.
So, and that's going to be a $5,000 cash prize. Plus, they're
wow.
going to be the resident. They're going to be on salary.
I think that's fun. It keeps the community, engaged. 'Cause
Engaged.
It really is about the community. So tell us about the bar. I know it's 3 floors, right? You said.
It's going to be my visual to it is we're trying to obtain the lobby, but right now it's occupied. So we're going to hold off on that. The second floor is going to be 5,000 square foot open area with a long bar, and we're going to have portable stages.
Oh, wow.
Because we're going to have different venues, and and then the third floor is going to be a 5-star restaurant, a VIP area, and hopefully, if the Lord permits, a cigar lounge.
Oh, wow.
Closed off.
You're covering all your ground here.
It's going to have an exhaust system and everything for they could smoke. That way they don't have to go outside. Because we're also going to have handicapped accessible. We're going to have an elevator going up because we want everybody to feel welcome.
That's important.
I want everybody to be comfortable when they walk in, that it's a safe place for everybody. Then the top floor is going to be a rooftop garden overlooking Manhattan.
Okay.
So it's going to be a service bar on the top, and they could just go upstairs. It's going to be VIP area. They'll have their own section to chill out and look. The nightlife, we're going to have a separate little DJ or maybe a jukebox or something on the rooftop. But that'll be the last stage.
Okay.
But right now, we're going to break ground. We just signed the lease. It took a little hurdles because when I actually walked in to do a walkthrough before we signed the lease, it happened to be raining that day. Which benefited me because the roof was leaking. So thank God that we didn't even start no construction yet because we didn't anticipate the roof being like that.
Okay.
So we had a surveyor come, and now we're in the process now of fixing the roof first because we have to do the roof first.
Everything happens for a reason.
So everything happens for a reason. I thought he was going to be hesitant about that. I'm catering to the LGBT community, and he's like, no, I'm supporting you.
Do you think that says something about the Bronx evolving?
Oh, absolutely. Because when I first opened up a club, when I first was managing a club, a lot of the clubs weren't gay owned. They had gay nights, and then we had drag shows, we have bingo, they had karaoke, but they weren't gay owned.
Yeah.
I try to help promote certain clubs and everything, and have shows coming in because entertainment is always a good part of not just singing and dancing. People want to see a show.
Yeah.
They want to sit down. They want to have bottle service. They want to, they want to have a dinner and a show. So why not?
Exactly.
Why not? Instead of going to Manhattan, we're going to do it in the Bronx.
Exactly.
I'm going to cater to everything you could think of all in one place.
Yeah.
One-stop shopping for the LGBTQ.
Literally, you're covering all your ground. I am so excited.
Well, I took a piece from different experiences. I went to different clubs all over the world. I went to Florida not too long ago, and we had drag bingo. I had such a great time.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I told my sister, this is a good concept. We could do this in New York. But Lips was doing it already. So I'm like, I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but nobody patented that, so we could do that anywhere.
Exactly.
It's like karaoke. I want to do karaoke. I was like,
that's what I want to ask you. Are you going to have different themes?
Absolutely,
nights,
because
drag
you
shows?
have your slow nights, and you need to recover and do inventory. So Mondays usually winds down, and it's also the beginning of the week. But that's usually Sunday and Mondays is usually your snow nights. So that's where you could throw in dinner and a show, burlesque. Whatever the community wants, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to different ideas. I love entertainment.
I actually have an idea for one night.
There you go.
Doing a RuPaul's Drag Race viewing party.
And we have the space for it.
Yes,
and
I think
we have the
everyone
space for
would
it.
love that.
Yeah, because
Just an idea.
It saves, and I'm not far from the bridge, the 3rd Avenue Bridge. It's right over there. It's like
so
literally
tell us
5 minutes.
Where
I'm not going to tell you the location yet.
Got it. Okay.
Up until we have the because trust me, it will be publicized. The media is really on top of what I'm doing. I mean, Facebook has been very supportive and everything. They've been asking what's going on, what's the status, because this is a big to-do now. This is our time.
This is.
Look, the Bronx, we did our flag raising a couple of years ago, and now we're part of the boroughs that do their flag raising for Pride.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also having our festival. This next year, we're doing our 4th. I was the ambassador for World Pride for the governor's office. I marched as an ambassador representing the state this year.
And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, your activism and everything. But I want to hear I can say it in my own words, but I want to hear why you think it's important for there to be a gay bar right here in the Bronx.
One, with a lot of things that are happening now, just because we're in 2019 still doesn't mean that there's a lot of prejudice and ignorance on people when we go out and we go downtown to have we can't hold hand in hand because we still get harassed.
Yeah.
People still get spit on, punched, bullied, name calling. It doesn't make a difference. This is 2019, and if I feel like it's still the 60s. you know. And I lived the era of Stonewall. I'm part of that generation, so I've seen the transition of changes over the past 50 years, and to me, I think we're going backwards. I guess maybe it's because higher ups of all the discrimination, our administration of what's going on, and they feel that they can get away with whatever they feel like it. So I want people to come and be like, wow, I could come to a place, and I'm gonna be comfortable. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm going home. This is a safe environment.
Yeah.
I want you to come as you are, dressed with your purple hair, your pink short shorts, whatever you want. If you want to come showing your chest out and over, and it's legal and you could do it, you could come. I want you to be who you are.
Yeah.
This is why this is the time for it, because we have to turn the clock back, because this is crazy. Where I walk the streets and I'm like, wow, am I gonna get hit today? Is somebody gonna scream at me or move? Or, I've never faced discrimination in all of my life, but it doesn't mean to say that the next generation behind me is not experiencing that now, especially the transgender community. Every other day I hear somebody's gotten killed, and not just this state.
It's happening all over.
It's happening all worldwide, not just in our country. It's happening worldwide, and it's disheartening. Plus, we have lesbians that are being harassed. It happened in London not too long ago. They were showing affections and they got beat downs. And this was teenagers. And this stems from the home. So this is why the club is not only just a nightclub, a place where you could let off steam and dance and let your worries away. Because when you do go to a club, it's because you want to go and forget about your troubles. Have a few drinks, network, see your friends, dance, have a good time, or hook up, whatever the situation may be. You may be depressed, lonely, at least you're connecting with somebody. It's a form of networking and connections. This is why we have a need for that.
Yes, and I 100% agree with all of that. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Audrey DeJesus. Hello and welcome back to Out Loud. I am here with Audrey DeJesus, who is opening up a gay bar right here in the Bronx. Now, Audrey, we talked all about your history of opening gay bars here in the Bronx because it's not your first time, but you're also extremely involved in the LGBT community of the Bronx here. So tell us about that.
Well, being that we mentioned about the bar and everything, this is my 4th time is the charm.
Yes.
And in the past 30 years, helping politicians in my community, going to homes, driving petitions and everything for helping them to be elected into their offices. Through that affiliation, I've learned so much about the political realm of the Bronx. And me being an openly gay, lesbian, Hispanic woman, I was not going to shy away from who I am. So I was like, up in your face, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. My voice is going to matter. So in order for me to make that matter, I started networking with different organizations, and then I attached myself with Bronx Pride. I am the original founder of one of the Bronx Prides, and I just reorganized it now. It's called Bronx Pride New Beginning. It's a 501c3. And I mentor a lot of students from the Board of Education because I am an attendance teacher. So a lot of kids that are being bullied, they don't want to go back to school. So this also entitled me to be like, well, how do I network to help my students and help my community?
Oh, that's so great.
Besides the club, I deal a lot more with the youth. So I started with talking to our borough president, and being that he's LGBT friendly and his doors are always open to any ideas to help our Bronx community neighbors. So I told him, I pitched him ideas, and I says, well, how do I go about networking and doing this? So he says, well, you could be part of the task force. We have a Bronx LGBT task force, so I became part of that. And through that, we've nominated a lot of wonderful people in the past 8 years. And we've had a venue. We always do the kickoff at the beginning of June. So from there, stemmed off that I was also co-chair of Bronx Pride. We've helped one of the festivals. And then from there, I went to One Bronx Festival. I'm co-chair with them also, and this is our 3rd year. So through that, you also have to deal with the community, vendors, and the politicians. And because I'm always with the politicians and I help them. Whenever they need somebody to help them campaign or get petitions or get signatures or an event or they need help or they need somebody there, I'm there. I don't say no, because it's awareness to the community, and they show, well, it's not just one person. She's representing a whole lot of different people.
Well, thank you so much for all the work that you do for the community here. Really, truly, you are making a difference here, and I thank you for that.
I try.
Yes, and thank you for being here today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes, and we are going to let everyone know when your bar is opening.
Hopefully by the time this here
yes,
it'll be double celebration.
Definitely. So we'll promote it all over our social media and let you know when the bar is opening. Well, don't go too far, because coming up next, we have the Queen of the Bronx joining us. Hello and welcome back to Out Loud. I'm your host, Anthony Parker. Now, in the second half of our show, we like to highlight different artists and performers and just creative people. And joining me now is the drag queen of the Bronx, or just known as the Queen of the Bronx, Miss Appolonia Cruz. Hello.
Thank you, Anthony Parker, for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. I love your name. How did you come up with it?
Oh my God. Well, my name was originally, I gave it to one of my waiters back in the 1990s in Miami. His name was Apollon.
Okay.
And I called him Appolonia.
Okay.
But I was doing drag and I was using a different name that I hated. Then one day I said, that's it, I'm stealing that name. And then he told me, well, use it and become very famous. And the rest is history.
Nice. Okay. So you are very involved in the LGBT community of the Bronx, and you put on a lot of your own festivals. You do your annual Bronx Pride Festival and Health Fair at Crotona Park, which is now in its 8th year. Which you took that over from the Bronx Pride Community Center that closed, correct?
Yes, Bronx Community Pride Center.
That closed,
yeah. I was hosting with them for close to 15 years.
Wow.
And then when we moved to another location near Hunts Point, and all of a sudden we heard, we're closing.
Okay.
And one of the first things I said was, what's going to happen with the festival?
Yeah.
And they said, that's it. And I'm like, no. I need to continue this festival.
Yeah. And you have, and now
and the
8
rest is
years
history.
later,
Yes.
And you also do your annual Christmas in July
Yes.
festival at Barretto Point Park, which is beautiful over there. And that's now in its 6th year,
Sixth year.
right? Yeah. You've also co-hosted the Bronx Pride Rally at the Bronx Supreme Court, where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was in attendance. And you've also hosted several Pride festivals, Queens, Brooklyn, Harlem, and New York City, alongside Real Housewives of New York, who I love.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Oh my God. So I want to talk about the 2 festivals that you put on yourself. Let's talk first about your Bronx Pride Fest that you do.
Okay. So when Bronx Community Pride Center shut down in 2012, 2 weeks before the date of the festival,
oh my gosh,
I got together with someone that was part of it, and then we said, Peter Quality Frank. I said, we spoke, he said, and we were telling each other what's going to happen. I'm like, let's do it. Let's continue it. So Bronx Community Pride Center was generous enough to allow us to use their offices. They were shutting down.
Wow, okay.
So we did a cookout.
Okay.
I cooked, Peter cooked, everybody was cooking, and we brought the food to the old Bronx Community Pride Center offices.
Nice.
And we sold food. That was how we were able, plus donations from the community, we were able to do the first Pride in 2012. We continued it. We used the old stage manager, which was Sage, and we used Tyra Law Ross, you know her from Pose.
Yes.
I told myself we need to continue the tradition from the previous Pride.
And she has hosted,
yes,
right?
she has.
Some of it? Oh, that's
yes,
exciting.
and
I'm a huge fan of the show.
She
We've
also
talked
has
about it on here.
hosted, when I started doing my Christmas in July in Miami in the 1990s, but when I started in New York, Tyra became my official MC.
Oh my God.
But since now she's becoming very famous now, so I have to use other MCs.
It's a health fair as well,
It's
too,
a health
right?
fair. It's the Bronx Pride Festival and Health Fair. I call it the festival that unites our Bronx community in New York City, because we feature everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You're part of the community, you're going to be featured. I even have people that are not entertainers, but they entertain really good. And I have them on stage, and people see them from the amphitheater. They don't know that those are not entertainers. They're just regular
They're just
folks.
up there and having a good time.
Folks, regular fans that support me in the clubs, and they be lip syncing to the songs, and I keep an eye on them like, I
Yeah.
can use them for a show. And actually do, but no one knows that they're not professionals.
Oh my gosh. So tell us now about your Christmas in July festival.
Well, Christmas in July started when Bronx Community Pride Center closed down. Before they closed, we were at also, before Cortona, we were at Barreto.
Okay.
And I always said, Barreto is one of the most beautiful parks, waterfront parks in New York City. So when we moved to Cortona, I said, in the back of my mind, I need to do an event at Barreto.
Yeah.
So,
it's beautiful there.
2 years after I took over Bronx Pride Cortona, I said, it's time to do something in Barreto. So I started with my Christmas in July, that the politicians were calling it Bronx Pride Part 2.
Okay.
Because we had it a week apart.
Okay.
I produced 2 festivals, 1 cruise, and a week.
Oh my God.
Don't ask me how I do it.
I
You
was
could.
going to.
Yes.
How I can't imagine putting on events like that to that scale all by yourself.
No sleep whatsoever.
Oh, God.
My own communities are made possible by our community members. We're not sponsored by
Yes.
no politicians ever. Okay, so we were sponsored one time by Montefiore, but they're no longer with us. So we had no main sponsor, but the community always comes through. And this year, I may add that one of our senators, Mr. Lewis, I always have a hard time pronouncing his last name.
Is it?
Sepulveda?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
I
he
saw.
contacted me. He contacted me. His people contacted me and said, Appolonia, what can we do for your 2 events, upcoming events? And I gave them a list of stuff that I needed, and they delivered.
That's truly
It was amazing.
So this is entirely, besides the senator now, it's been entirely.
Community donations only.
Wow.
I put money in the pot because to produce these events cost thousands,
I can imagine.
and I could do it half the price
Yeah.
with donations from the community.
And how is the turnout?
The turnout was amazing.
Yeah.
And we made history this year too, because I am seeing many Pride events in New Jersey, Brooklyn, Staten Island, all over New York City, and I never seen Pride flags hang from street light poles. We made history this time at Cortona Park. I put Pride flags and trans flag from the park entrance through the exhibitor section to the main stage.
Amazing.
First time in history it's been done in New York City. Because I've never seen it, and I host out of Pride.
Especially in the Bronx.
In the
at
Bronx,
least.
never,
Yeah, exactly.
never has happened before, never.
Exactly.
You come to my Pride festival, and you feel like you are at a Pride festival.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And this year, everybody was amazed. I had Stonewall veterans that visited me this year, telling me, Appolonia, this is amazing. We had trans elders, because we also have a trans picnic the same day as Bronx Pride Cortona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used to have a picnic on a different date, but when we took over, they decided we're gonna join Appolonia, and there were like so many veterans, those that fought for us to have the liberty that we have today.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's really amazing. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, but that's amazing. All right, well, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Appolonia. Hello and welcome back to Out Loud, and we are here with the famous and the beautiful Appolonia Cruz.
Thank you.
You are looking stunning today,
Thank you,
by the
thank
way.
you.
Yes. So there may be people out there who are not familiar exactly with the art of drag.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what drag is all about and what inspired you to get started in it.
Well, I first started out as a club kid
Okay.
in the late 80s on South Beach, Miami.
Okay.
I used to dress androgynous. I always
Yeah,
get tongue-
androgynous, yeah,
Yes,
uh-huh.
I used to wear a military jacket, big heels, and speedos, spiky hair.
Okay.
And glitter on my lips.
Uh-huh.
I used to do that back in the day. And then one day, someone told me, "Hey, you should go to amateur night," because I dressed up for Halloween. Everybody loved it, so I did. And the rest is history.
Nice.
Started working with the best of the best in the industry in South Florida.
Nice.
And I just love when I'm performing and I see my fans that they're enjoying it. It's about
Yeah.
entertaining. Looking great is also a main factor, but you could look great and not be entertaining.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, but when people gonna go see my show, they go, "Oh my God, we don't know what Apple's gonna do because she always comes out with something. So that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Give them the surprise. Because you see entertainers that are talented, but you already know what they're gonna do. But with me, you don't know what I'm gonna wear. You don't know what I'm gonna say. Because I don't rehearse.
Yeah.
It comes
Oh,
out
okay,
natural
wow.
on the spot.
Oh, wow. So you're just you when you're
Yes.
up there. Is there anything that drag has taught you about yourself or the world,
Let
maybe?
me see. I think it's the opposite of what I taught drag to the community. Because I taught a lot of drag stylists that we have now with a lot of advice from back in the day. Because it's always good to listen to your elders. I listened to my elders back in the day when I started my drag. They were giving me pointers, and they says, we're giving you this advice. You work it, use it how it works for you. Don't do it how I do it. Just make it work for you. So that's what I do here in New York City. I help out a lot of drag queens and even legendary girls that have not worked in a long time and they decided to come back. And I also help them because even though they're professionals, they haven't performed in a long time. So I just give them advice. I help them with drag clothes. I design my own wardrobe,
Okay, nice.
hair and everything. So, you know, it's about helping each other.
We've mentioned RuPaul's Drag Race before. I'm a huge fan of that show too.
Me
so
too.
I love
I'm
the
a
whole
big
art
fan
of
of
it.
RuPaul Drag Race.
What is your favorite song to perform to?
My favorite song, oh my God. So I come out with a really good old school,
songs, yeah, I
great
love it.
beats, get
Yeah.
the audience jumping.
And everyone still loves the old songs
and
too.
the new generation thinks that song is new. So I like old school songs. I don't have a specific one. I just love old school Spanish and English.
Okay. Now, you are extremely involved in the community, as we've
Very
talked
involved,
about.
yes.
Do you have any events coming up that you'd like to talk
Well,
about?
I have my 5th annual thank you party. It's an event that I started 5 years ago at my Bronx theater home, the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance.
Who has been on the show as
yes,
well.
Yes, they've been here too. You have interviewed them.
Yes.
What is Appolonia Cruz 5th Annual Thank You Party? It's an event that I do to thank my volunteers, sponsors, and even exhibitors that support me at my events. They're the ones that make my events possible. I could produce the festival on my own, but if I don't have donations, I cannot pay the DJ. I cannot pay the truck rental. I can't pay for anything. So, you know, that's why I do it to thank them, to show them that how much I appreciate them. Yes.
Now, do you have any social media that you want people to
So
follow
I have.
you on?
You could find me on Appolonia Cruz on Facebook.
Okay.
Apollonia Cruz. Lower. How you call that? The lower.
Oh, like an underscore.
Underscore Cruz on
Apollonia
Instagram.
underscore Cruz.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Apollonia, seriously. And thank you for all the work that you do here.
I'm grateful to be able to do it. I think that the day that I stop doing these events, the Bronx is not going to have nothing to do.
Yes, these events are important, and
Yeah,
I'm glad
very
that you're
important.
adding a voice, to the
Especially
community.
events that I do that's funded by the community.
Yeah, and it's important to just have safe places.
Yes,
so.
very safe places
Yes.
and family oriented. It's for everybody.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here. And you don't forget that you can stay up to date with all things Out Loud on our new website, outloudtalk.com. And we're also on social media, on Facebook at OutLoudLGBT, on Instagram at OutLoud.tv, and on Twitter at OutLoudLGBT. And if you are an LGBTQ plus person or organization doing work here in New York City and would like to come on the show and share your story or the work that you're doing, click on the Be on the Show tab at the top of our website and submit. And remember that being your true self is your greatest gift to the world. We'll see you next time here at Out Loud.